on camera! I got you on camera!
Is he actually stealing a bike?
She kicked me. She kicked me.
My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself why would I make time for you lames? At all costs, cause I'm a boss. But break them off, yeah, gotta break them off.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Primetime with Alex Stein. I'm your host, Alejandro Stein, and you know, I know right now, actually, you might not know this, but right now I am currently in a federal lawsuit against the county judge. That's right, the judge of Dallas County, one of the biggest counties in Texas, actually in the United States, arguably. And I'm suing them in federal court for a First Amendment lawsuit. And today, I actually got on the stand. So we're going to get into all that. But before we do, actually, I want to just say this. Today in court, they played a recent live stream that I did where I talked about a multitude of things involving the court case that I'm currently involved in. And everything that I said, they played the video in court, I was being authentic about. So I would just like to say to the jurors, potentially, I hope you're not watching this because I don't think that that's legal. I just want to say that I respect everybody in that courtroom very much. And everybody in that courtroom has been the utmost professional and respectful to the court, and I just want to say that I respect everybody, even the opposing counsel that has, gotten mad at me and yelled at me during this court case. I even respect everybody. So thank you for watching this. We appreciate the views, and with that, we have a lot to talk about. So I have a very special guest. My next friend. His name, and I forget Emmanuel's last name. Emmanuel, what's your last name? They didn't write it down. Did they write it down? Lewis. Emmanuel Lewis, who was a city employee for the jail, and they screwed you and screwed you over. Is that correct, Emmanuel?
Yes, I used to work for the Dallas County jail, and I got the skin discoloration and heart failure from working at the jail, testifying, and filing lawsuits and getting retaliated against.
Emmanuel, if I'm being honest, and I'm not saying this, and I don't know, you did hear me say this in court. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, right?
Yes.
So I kind of think it's cool. I think you have Michael Jackson vibes, that your skin's kind of lighter. Like, I think it looks cool. Is that crazy for me to say that? Has anybody ever said, Emmanuel, that it looks kind of cool that you're kind of light-skinned?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think you look cooler.
It shows that I've been through something.
That's what I'm saying. I mean that. I'm not even saying that sarcastically. I'm just saying it gives you a different look and it makes you look cool. So, Emmanuel, thank you, and I apologize that this county did you so dirty, and it sucks that I'm currently in a lawsuit, and I really appreciate your activism in bringing awareness to, I guess, the mistreatment that our politicians do to us on a daily basis. So thank you, and thank you for being here. And obviously, you guys know this guy, Princeton graduate, producer of the show, the one, the only, Primetime with Alex Stein court reporter, JVT.
Wrote everything down. I've spent, 3 hours there yesterday, 8 hours today, writing down every one of Alex's quotes. I've got 5 full pages, so we got a lot of stuff to review.
We do. And Emmanuel, thank you for coming. So let's just kind of start off. Guys, I'm sorry. I know this show, usually it's a comedy show. Hopefully tonight is funny. And we're going to actually play some comedic clips. But tonight we want to focus, because this is such a monumental court case, and it will create future legislative decisions when this problem arises in the future. They will go back and they will look at this court case to figure out how to adjudicate it in the future. So that's why this is so important. And I'm not doing this, and I'm not trying to virtue signal when I say this, I'm not doing this for me. We've actually agreed to nominal damages that even if I win, I can only get so much, a very small amount. Because it's not about winning. What this is about, it's about defending the First Amendment. It is the most important amendment. Now, some people say the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And I can, maybe that can be a debate, but I'm just saying the ability to go and criticize our politicians is one of the most important amendments in the entire Constitution. And when you have elected officials, these are the people we elected to work for us, and you go and try to speak critical of them, and they shut you down. That is a politician that is working against their constituents. And that's what I'm trying to expose with this lawsuit, is that we have politicians that, because they might not like what you're about to say about them in a public forum, they will just shut you down. So this has monumental consequences for the future. And Emmanuel, you were in the courtroom all day today. Can you kind of, before we get into the clips and stuff, what was your overall vibe? And I just want to say I loved everybody. The jury was so great. Everybody in the court, the judge was great. Even their counsel, they got mad. I loved them. So only positive things from me. But what was your honest opinion of what you saw today in the courtroom?
It was great to see you take a stand. A lot of times in Dallas County, people can't even find attorney once they learn that it's going against Dallas County, because a lot of them are buddies with John Wiley Price, with Clay Jenkins. We got a lot of their buddies also working internally, as we saw today, as well as outside. So many of the people that have concerns never get their day in court. So it was so amazing to be a part of that, and also to learn that what happened with your mom, and that it's true. I didn't know if it was a bit.
You didn't know that? I know, and I feel bad. That shows you how crazy I am. That obviously one of the reasons that I don't like Clay Jenkins is I don't like the way that I don't like the way that he took away our rights during the pandemic. And whether you agree with that or not, or whether he was making the right decision at the time or not, I know that Clay Jenkins is, for lack of a better word, he's not a good person. And I think that there's evidence of that. And so going after him was not easy. And you are right, it was hard to find an attorney. But luckily, I have the best attorney in the world, John Gross. He's Jewish. That's what makes him so good. Or that helps at least. And I would recommend everybody, if you hire an attorney, either get a Jewish one or a Korean one. Those are usually the best. Would you agree with that, Emmanuel? Or what color attorney would you prefer?
Mr. Gross did a really great job. And today I think about the people that are not here, the people that I worked with at the jail that passed away, and also the detained that also passed away.
What happened at the jail? Why did you get this affliction? So you're working at the jail, and because you're exposed to these toxic chemicals, I remember you telling me that's why you had heart issues, but what happened to you?
I was working at the jail, and it was when the pandemic broke out. No mask, no sanitizer, small area like this, 64 inmates.
Yeah.
And was speaking up, and saw that there was some movement on the lawsuit. The inmates were speaking out, but they were just saying that those folks are just inmates. So I felt that I had to speak up, and I testified in federal court, and then was subpoenaed to testify. And they dragged out that court forever, because that's what they do. You know how they're dragging out your
it took
case.
3 years for mine.
And the federal court ended up, when she saw me after it was all dragged out, she ended up recusing herself from it. And now I currently have a retaliation lawsuit against the county. So I've had heart failure and all this skin discoloration. I've never had this before in my life.
And Clay Jenkins is in charge of our jail system, a lot of the criminality issues in our city and county. That's what he is actually in charge of. So do you hold Clay Jenkins responsible, basically?
I reached out to everyone. I reached out to Clay, to John Wiley Price, all the folks.
And they did nothing to help you?
Nothing. They just...
As a county employee, they couldn't even care.
They just hoped that they would drag it out and I wouldn't make it to be on primetime Alex Stein.
Well, now, they did not like seeing you in that courtroom now, so that was fun. And that was the most fun part. And I hate to, be like this, and I really do appreciate the Judge Jenkins and Commissioner Wiley Price, but it did kind of tickle me to death that they could have just settled and they didn't have to go to court. And John Wiley Price, kind of got humiliated on the stand. If I'm just, being honest, he said, he just had different definitions for the same word. It was very convoluted, what he was saying. But my point is, if they just would have settled like other places, Plano and New York has done, we wouldn't have had a 2-day trial talking about how Clay Jenkins trespassed in a girl's dorm and stole their underwear. And the reason why this is a big deal to me is that their attorneys, often call it a panty raid. My attorneys has described it as a panty raid. And I get that the 80s were a different time than the 2020s. But if you really think about it, if you were going to break into somebody's house or let's just change it. Let's just say, what would you rather happen? Would you rather somebody broke into your house and steal your TV? Would you rather somebody broke into your house and stole your underwear? What would you feel more violated? And it's obvious. You would feel more violated that they stole your underwear, because that would mean that they have some sort of power or some sort of fetish. That is only about feelings. If somebody stole your TV, you're like, oh, there's an excuse. This person's poor. They needed money. They're trying to buy drugs. But when you go and you break into somebody's house to steal nothing of monetary value, only of perverted value, like a woman's used soiled underwear, which there are people in Asia and in America that pay a lot of money for this underwear. So there is actually a, I hate to admit this, but there is a used underwear economy. But maybe Clay Jenkins, you know what? Maybe I was wrong, Jimmy. Maybe Clay Jenkins was stealing these panties not to sniff them and crank it. Maybe he was stealing them because he was going to hold on to them in 30 years when the internet was invented, and then he could sell them to Asian men. Was that what he's trying to do, Jimmy?
I mean, it's definitely possible.
Well, a lot is possible. Anything is possible. Jimmy, now I want you, and I want to say thank you to you, and I want you to talk about this case a little bit and give your opinion. And then, babe, come on set, because I want you to give yours after Jimmy. So, Jimmy, please. And my baby, pay-per-view, prepaid wireless, she was at the courtroom all day. Here, come next to me. So, come to Daddy's throne. Right
Oh,
here.
my God.
And, Jimmy, now give us your testimony of what happened in the trial today.
Well, first off, I want to commend you. I know how tempting it was to be in a place like that with Clay Jenkins and John Wiley Price there, for you to yell at them or do your normal shenanigans, but you were very composed, so I do genuinely want to.
You do think I was fully composed?
Yes.
Because Emmanuel, you saw me and my dad arguing. My dad came up to me and was like, they're going to hold you in contempt. They're going to hold you in contempt. And Emmanuel, I go, Dad, shut the fuck up in front of the news. I got so mad because I'm like, they were going to hold me in contempt. But then Emmanuel came out of freaking center field. He's like, actually, no, you're actually acting pretty wild. Your dad's right. And I'm like, holy shit, how bad am I acting? So, Emmanuel, did you think that I was ever actually subject to being held in contempt today?
I've been in a lot of litigation as a plaintiff and sat and observed a lot of federal courts, and the judge gave you a lot of leeway.
Hey, that's why we love you, Fitzwater, clapping to Fitzwater. But, Jimmy, you said I did keep my composure.
So the judge did stop you many times, but it's because you were speaking so quickly, the court reporter could not keep up with you. So I did count, he stopped you 6 times.
Six? My favorite, though, Jimmy, did you write this down? The best part of the whole thing, though, is the court reporter, once we took a break, she's like, Mr. Stein? I was like, yes. She goes, what's a super cat? A super cat? She goes, what did you say, a super cat? Oh, super chat. Yeah, I get super chats. And I just thought that was so funny because the reason why it was funny, too, that she said super cat, last night I got in an argument with my baby and my attorney and my dad because I played a prank on them. Sky Bear is a registered service animal. And I told all 3 of them, I'm like, well, I'm going to be too anxious in court tomorrow.
You needed it.
I needed an anxiety reliever. I was going to bring Sky Bear. And my dad's like, don't you fucking do that, don't it? And then Paige is like, are you serious? You were pissed. And then my attorney, John Gross, was the nicest. He's like, maybe, let me ask Eden. And then I was like, I'm just kidding. And
well, at first he said, no, do not do that. Do not do that. He said not to do that either.
He did advise me not to bring my cat, which actually I feel bad because the Dallas Morning News is there and Sky Bear would love to be in the news. But that's not important. Now, Jimmy, let's go through some of your timeline of what happened to you.
So I don't think we have this video, but the first video they played was after Arturo Martinez said to aim better after the assassination of
Oh, we're talking about the videos, yeah, because they started...
Oh, you want to go through
No, we don't have to. No, actually, their defense is even better place to start. But I just thought it was funny when they played... And remember, Jimmy, did you notice, and Emmanuel and Paige, I know you guys have heard me say this 100 times, every other video that they played of me happened after the commissioner's court meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just funny. They're painting a picture of me after. And what I tried to explain to the jury, yes, the videos that you're seeing, I am acting crazy. But I wouldn't have to act crazy like this because I went to these meetings and I spoke seriously. And I had serious public articles that I handed to them. And I tried to do it above board. And you know what? I got shut down. So I had to adopt a unique style in order to get my point across. And so they're showing this kind of, different version of, the maturation of what I became when it came to going to these meetings. It started off serious. So I don't know. Do you think that the jury got that message? Because I was trying to convey that.
I think it was completely clear. And you're actually, you talk for a living, you're a much better communicator than even their lawyer.
Yeah. The lawyer yelled at me. Did you think that?
I was going to get to that.
Okay, you go start going through a little bit.
So brought up the video where you were very stern with Eric Johnson about the police force mocking President Trump's assassination, and you ended that by saying, calling Mayor Eric Johnson a bitch ass. So their lawyer said, you called Mayor Eric Johnson a bitch ass. Then you smiled. And lawyer said, you're smiling. Do you think this is funny? Alex, yes, I think it's very funny calling an elected politician a bitch ass if they're being a bitch ass. I won't say that if they're not being a bitch ass.
And then he's asked me what the definition of a biatch was, right?
yeah,
Okay, keep going. I like it. It's funny. This is like me seeing it at the time. Nobody was laughing when I said the biatch comment. Maybe a couple, like chuckles, but nobody's really laughing because it's very intense. But now you reading it, it's 10 times funnier. It's so funny.
I literally multiple times had to just go because I didn't want to laugh out loud and just make you look bad, but it was so funny. Then I thought it was funny when they were trying to play the video and they spent almost 10 minutes because a secret video was playing on a hidden tab and there was double audio.
2 videos were playing. So this is how smart they were. And they were so smart. They were very, very, very smart people. But so they were using their laptop to play a video. So they had multiple browsers open. In one browser, one video is playing. In the other browser, they're trying to play that video. So they're trying to play a video of me and you're hearing audio of another video. So they're just like, oh, I don't know how to work a computer. Where's your computer? Is this a computer? Is this on the internet? So yes, but they did a great job. It only took them 10 minutes to get it worked out.
Okay, and then next, and if you want to get SOT 6 ready, if we want to play a snippet of it, they said, so, Mr. Stein, you went to Las Vegas and told this sad tale of your wife's boyfriend had impregnated her and that you took a Filipino woman back to your hotel to find out she was transgender. Was this true, Mr. Stein?
And what did I say, though? I said, no, it's not. I made that story up to make a point. So
I don't know if you want to play just to refresh people's memories, but
let's play some of this. This is okay, guys. So listen, this is why we have to give this context, and this is why it's so ridiculous. We're sitting in a federal courtroom with Judge Fitzwater, who I believe was a Ronald Reagan appointed federal judge. So that's how long he's been a federal judge. This is the most intense thing. You're not allowed to even crack a smile. My attorney's getting mad at me for nodding my head in agreement when somebody says something. I mean, this is how intense it is. You can't even be expressive. And had this serious court case with the county judge, and then they say, all right, Alex, well, we didn't decide to play any of these videos. They submitted these videos. So when they started their cross-examination against me, this is one of the first videos, not the very first, but they played multiple videos. But this is a video that we watched in the entirety and got context of in a federal courtroom today during trial. So let's watch it.
For 40 years out on that strip. I helped build this town.
Thank you.
And I get a slap in the face for it.
Anyone else on the public comment, please come down, state your name for the record.
Hello, Mayor. My name's Alex Stein, and after hearing that testimony, it just shows me that Las Vegas is really not heading in a good direction. Because after my experience a couple nights ago, I had a very terrible experience where I think that these casinos take advantage of people by giving people free drinks.
Wait, excuse me. You said your name was Alex Stein?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What I'm saying is these casinos give people free drinks, and then they become vulnerable and then end up gambling more money than they have.
Yeah.
And I was a victim of that, and I lost a lot of money. And I'm facing a lot of issues right now. My wife's boyfriend recently got her pregnant, and I'm here for a church event speaking for, I'm a member of the Church of Scientology, and I don't normally drink. But I'm very vulnerable. I'm in a position now where I don't know what I'm going to do, because financially I'm going to have to take care of this baby potentially, because he's out on parole right now and he has an upcoming case where he could be facing a long time in jail. So potentially I'm going to have to financially support this baby, and I come to Las Vegas for a work event and I get fed alcohol and I get entirely way too intoxicated. I go to the ATM, I use my credit card. They make it very accessible to be able to gamble with my credit card. You know this, Mayor Goodman. They make it absolutely incredibly accessible, Councilman, to be able to take all I have. And now I got to go back to Clearwater, Florida, and I have nothing. So after this, after I start drinking, I'm very distraught. And the one good thing about this city, I will say, the one good thing is, of all the cities I've been to, it's the first city. Last night at 4 a.m., I saw multiple people on Fremont Street taking the vaccine. That's the only place I've seen a 24/7 vaccine operation in the United States of America, and that's here in Las Vegas. I saw lots of people on Fremont Street doing the vaccine, and I want to commend you the one thing. But the vulnerability of the tourists that come here, like myself, you're preying on people like me. And then I end up meeting a nice Filipino girl. I take her back to my hotel room. Come to find out, I cost money for her service to come to my room. Mayor Goodman. I end up having a good time. We start kissing. We take off her clothes. She has male genitalia. She's a transgender. Mayor Goodman.
Excuse me. We're in a public venue, and I think...
What happened? So listen, I'm at a meeting.
Please, could you please, excuse me, could you please be calm and whatever?
You guys are preying on me, Mayor. You know, when I'm out there, I'm vulnerable, and now I have
Please.
a person male genitalia with breasts. It's very confusing. How can we track that? How can
Excuse me, I think unless you have an issue that we can address, no. Please. Please, you do have issues. Be calm and just take one day at a time. Try.
I pay for my wife's boyfriend's kid?
That's not our responsibility, sir.
They gave me all the alcohol.
Sir, this is not the first council meeting you have come into. You actually go through council meetings across the United States and do this performance. So please leave our chambers at the moment. Thank you.
That's a performance now. A chick with a dick's a performance, okay?
You need to remove him. Marshals, remove him right now.
This is ridiculous.
Goodbye.
You know that they did this. You know
Goodbye.
how vulnerable
Goodbye.
this is. But you know how vulnerable
Goodbye.
this is.
Goodbye.
You can play Tuesday to Tuesday, but you know what the deal is.
Jesus.
What's the matter?
He needs help.
Yeah, well, he does. He does.
Yeah, well, see, now you
I
can
had
talk behind
chance
my
with him
back.
up.
You kick me out. You can talk behind my back. You're taking my I'm with the
does
chick
this
with
across.
the dick.
This is
Thanks
what
a
he
lot.
does. Yep, Chance just told me all about it. Yeah, he gave me a chance.
Okay, anyone else wishing to make comment today, please? This is a first, you know, in 11 years, that was...
And I want to commend Mayor Goodman. Now, her husband was a longtime mayor, and he was a famous mob attorney, and I believe his name was Oscar Goodman. So I just want to say to the Goodman family, they were great. But the woman that actually kicked me out of that meeting was Fiore, and the woman that kicked me out of this meeting, Emmanuel, believe it or not, got in trouble and is currently convicted of taking. I don't hear Google. Let me tell her because I don't want her to sue me. It's Michelle Fiore. Hold on, let me Google it real quick because I know that now I got all these legal people watching my stuff now. Hold on.
I do just want to add, though, that at the end of the video, even the security guard is laughing. Like, they're even kind of laughing. I feel like that didn't really help their case that much, that even the city officials are laughing at it, you know?
This is so good. Grand jury indicts ex-Las Vegas councilwoman Michelle Fiore on wire fraud charges right here. So the woman that kicked me out, and I didn't bring this up in court, but I'm just saying that woman who hates me for going all across the country and making political points at political meetings is, and she got convicted of wire fraud. So you are literally a Nigerian scammer, and I'm not, no offense to Nigerians. Nigerians are good people. I'm just saying you're the same as the Nigerians that do internet scams. Okay, so.
Well, so get SOT 1 ready for this next part. I think this was the peak of the day in terms of the craziest, where they just started with no context. The lawyer says, Alex, does ball gag sound familiar?
What did I say? I forget it because
I don't remember because I was trying not to laugh because he was asked that question seriously in a federal courtroom. And so they I think they played the full video, but this is where it got crazy. He asked you a yes or no question, and you said, well, it's funny you played that video because we actually sued the city of Plano and settled, and then the lawyer goes, stop talking!
Yeah, that's what he yelled. So, Emmanuel, what did you think when he yelled at me?
He snapped.
He snapped.
And you're the one yelling. And then after you spoke down there and they made that whole craziness, they got an attorney there that keeps John Wiley in price.
Yeah, handing notes the whole time.
Yes.
Oh, no, during the, well, that was going on as well.
Oh.
But during the council meeting now, the county meeting, they all changed now. They actually have an attorney there that keeps John Wiley Price in check in Clay after you.
After me, so they have an attorney that just sits up there. Is that the woman? It's the woman in the mask?
No, there's another.
Oh, it's a different person. Okay.
And what they need to do, as you know, is have a set time that people go to speak, not hang out there all day and then they have to speak at the end.
It's stupid. They should let the public speaker speak at the beginning because even if they're speaking on an agenda item or non-agenda item, what they say might influence a vote later on. Or even if they're not voting on something, it would just make sense to hear from the public at the beginning of the meeting, like most places do. And so it's weird that they do that because they want you to not speak. They want you to sign up, and a lot of people do. They even said a lot of people sign up and don't speak. Well, why is that, Mr. 40-year commissioner, Mr. Jenkins? Why is that? Why do a lot of people sign up, but then they don't have the opportunity to speak? Oh, I know, because I'm not actually, I don't want to say anything negative because
Yeah, let's move.
no, but I just want to say this.
Off.
I want to just, but you come up, but I just want to say this. Why do people sign up and not get to speak? Because Emmanuel and I raise a serious point. Because you make them wait to the end of the meeting. Like, your job is to be at that meeting all day. The public, that's not our job. So you need to make it more accessible. And let's just say this. There's other places where they are very busy. So what they do is they hold special public comment meetings where people don't have to wait the whole time. They might have to wait an hour and they speak at the end of the hour or whatever it is. But they don't have to wait for a 6-hour meeting. And all of these meetings, they know that, whoever's watching this, these agendas are different from week to week. So one meeting might be 2 hours. The other meeting might be 8 hours. And us as the public can look at the agenda, but we might not know because there's agendas that are written very small that last a long time. And there's stuff that's a lot of stuff written on the agenda that goes really fast. So it's hard to tell because we have to judge how long they're going to either argue about certain subjects. And some subjects they agree on and it gets done fast. Some subjects they have debate and it makes the meetings drag on. So they make it harder to speak at these meetings. So I just want to get that across. You're an elected public official. You work for us, not against us. So do not structure your meeting in a way that makes it harder to speak to you. I don't understand why that is such a complicated concept for a county judge or a county commissioner or a mayor or anybody for that matter to understand when it comes to the public comment portion of
And being
meetings.
in office for 41 years, that is not a flex.
No, that's not. In the same office. It's like, dude, well, I don't want to say too much because he's a great guy.
Well, I want to talk about what happened after the guy snapped on you.
Okay, yes.
Because so immediately the courtroom went silent because this guy yelled at him, the Mr. Respectable, or we really loved everyone. We do respect him. Alex then turns to the judge. Is he allowed to yell at me? Then Alex's lawyer stands up. Objection. This lawyer is harassing my client. Then Alex says, I'm being serious. This is triggering my anxiety. I had a heart attack last year. Can we take a break? Then the judge says, we will take a 5-minute recess. All rise for the jury.
Well, I was having, I mean, my heart was, because it was so shocking. I was like, wait, why is this guy? Because you know why? This is how sick I am. And this is another thing at these meetings, as I keep talking about me, but if you were a county commissioner or somebody watching this, the best way to defeat me, and I can't believe I'm giving you the cheat code on how to defeat me, not like I'm some super villain, maybe I am. To you I am probably, but just let me speak and don't engage. Like the more you engage, so it raises my, like the more you're combative to me, it raises my level. If I go and I talk to a politician or I confront a politician, if they just don't say anything, then the video's not that great. But when I say big booty Latina and you give me a peace sign and you engage with me, it becomes a huge thing. And that's why we love you, AOC. No offense, this is my #1 babe. But I'm just saying AOC is, well, Sarah Gonzalez is our #2 woman in our lives. And AOC is #3. My point is, it's not about the women in my life that have helped me so much. Sarah, Paige, AOC, doesn't matter, not in a particular order. What does matter is that these people need to realize, don't engage with me. So, Jimmy, that's why I was so mad. He's yelling at me. I wanted to start yelling, so I had to go extra calm.
That's why I genuinely commended you, because I know your instinct with everything you had was to yell back, and you restrained, and we got to take
even
a
the
break.
jury was very taken aback by that, because he literally snapped for no reason. He should just kept doing the object, like what he was doing. But the fact that he snapped like that, the jury, they're even like, oh boy.
So the next line of questioning is so ridiculous, but we have to play the video so they understand the context about Baby Back Biatch and glory holes. So do you want to play?
Yeah, let's play it.
SOT 1.
The next speaker is Alex.
Remember, guys, they're playing this in a federal courtroom right now. All right, so I know you're watching this on your smartphone or your TV, but this was on a TV in a
City
courtroom.
Council. Remember me? My name is Alexander Stein, and I am an Elmtart school teacher. I want to apologize that I have to use artificial intelligence to communicate this evening, but my throat is very sore from some nasty gonorrhea in my throat that I got from a glory hole during my trip to El Paso to help all the sex traffickers at the border. Something you may not know about me is not only do I have one of the biggest packages in Dallas County, but I am also a teacher, and I'm coming here today, not to speak about my anaconda, but to warn you guys about the upcoming school year. Ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter, he has amplified the voices of white supremacists like Tim Pool as well as other racist right-wingers. If you don't believe me, the only proof you need is the account, Libs of TikTok, which constantly tries to expose hard-working teachers that are just trying their hardest to teach their students about masturbation and sex at the elementary school level. And as a fellow teacher at an elementary school,
It's totally inappropriate.
What do you mean it's inappropriate? What do you mean it's inappropriate?
It's inappropriate. Thank you, Mr. Stein. It's inappropriate.
Where's the city attorney? Oh, I can't come up here, but you're going to let teachers indoctrinate kids with pride flags. You're going to let them teach their sexual ideology to young children there.
Thank you.
But you're going to try to shove me down. Well, I got this filmed. I don't even need your camera angle. I'm just saying you're an idiot. You're limiting free speech because I'm out here actually trying to do something. I'm trying to expose all the pedophilic teachers that are grooming our kids, that are giving kids vasectomies at 14 years old. What about all the gender reassignment surgery? You don't care about that because you like when kids get their penis cut off there. Yeah, you do. Well, then why are you limiting my free speech? This is going to go to court. I'm going to sue you. You're limiting my free speech. I'm allowed to speak here, and you're limiting my free speech by turning it off. You know what you're doing. Where's the city attorney? Where's the city attorney? Is the city attorney here? Are you going to have me removed from the building?
Your time is
up. I'm just saying, are you having me physically removed from the building? No, because when I file my lawsuit, Mayor, I want to know, am I being physically removed from this building by this cop? Am I being physically removed? Am I being physically removed?
Yes.
I'm being physically removed. Okay, so you agree. I just want this, because I'm going to sue everybody here. You better not touch me, officer. I'm just telling you. And you better not touch me. You're trying to intimidate me in this room. You're limiting my free speech. You got a lot of balls, Mayor Munn. But unlike these teachers that want to cut off kids' balls, I want to keep mine, and I want kids to keep theirs. So listen, I can make a scene. I got this on camera. This is better content, Mayor. No, this is better made. No, I didn't get my time. You turned off the camera. You turned off the camera. Dude, what? Get off me. You turned off the camera when I'm trying to speak. Why are you guys touching me? Get off me. Get off me. Don't touch me again. I'm not here. You just want to gender reassign all these children. You're a coward, Mayor, and you're a loser. You're afraid of free speech. You're a little baby back biatch. You know it. We got it on camera, officer. Are you guys removing me? So what am I being removed for? Yeah, okay, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave this meeting.
If you're going to be loud like that, then you're disrupting a meeting or procession.
Listen, I'm trying to speak, and then they turn off the camera. You know, it's funny. So how? It's funny. Those cops actually were very nice in Plano. I just want to commend those officers. I was acting a little egregious, to say the least. And but what's funny, and this is what caused the attorney to snap at me and yell at me, is I did sue them, and we settled out of court for that exact speech. And now I can go to Plano, and I can do whatever I want. And so, and you know, within me, it's like this is the thing. Right after they played that meeting, do you remember this? The judge, or excuse me, I think he did this on double cross after he let me go, and then he came back. And correct me if I'm wrong, he goes, Alex, do you believe in the First Amendment so much that you think you can go to a city council meeting and say gonorrhea?
Yeah.
And he goes, do you think it's okay to go to a city council meeting and say anaconda? Gonorrhea?
Do you want me to read the
Okay, you read it.
Mr. Stein, it is your position that according to the First Amendment, you can say throat gonorrhea, glory holes, my big package, my anaconda. Is that correct? And then you said, well, anaconda's an animal, and gonorrhea, that's just a medical term, so yes, it is.
That's exactly what I said, and it is. I mean, you could say a medical term in there, and you could say package. I mean, it can have a double entendre, it can have a double meaning, but listen, I'm going there. What am I supposed to do? I'm not cussing. Like these guys, this is the problem, is they do want to limit free speech. Like that attorney wants you to not be able to go there and say the word gonorrhea. But imagine this. Imagine that, let's go back in time. Hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand. Emmanuel, everybody hold their hand. Ready? Okay, we're in the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, and we're all ex-sharecroppers, and they just infected us with syphilis. Should we be able to go to the governor's mansion, Jimmy, and tell them, we got syphilis? Or should we not be able to say that because that's a medical term that has a sexual connotation?
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's why in our fantasy land, of course we could say that, because the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, they gave black men Tuskegee syphilis. Think about that, guys. That's what our government does. So they believe, oh, well, you can't go to a meeting and mention a medical term. Well, how about the government doesn't give poor black people syphilis, and then we don't have to go to these public meetings and expose them and use medical terms that might have a sexual connotation. So this is why I'm so upset, because they're trying to make this some, issue that I'm being inappropriate. And you know what? I'm not going to sit here and say that in other meetings that I of course, in other meetings, I have acted inappropriate. But in the meeting that we are currently on trial for, that the county is being sued for, that was literally one of my most well-behaved meetings that I've ever participated in. So it's crazy, Jimmy, that we're watching the juxtaposition that the defense is putting on by showing me act crazy. And then they asked me, Jimmy, do you have the notes on that when they asked me?
Well, so there are two lines of questioning that were absolutely hilarious. So after the 5-minute recess, after the freak out, first question was, did you call the mayor a baby back biatch? And you said yes. Lawyer, what is a baby back biatch? You said, it is just a biatch. Lawyer, what is a biatch? Alex, a female dog. Lawyer, a bitch? Alex, no.
You said it's slang for
I said it's slang for the word. I said that. I mean, yeah, I think that's what he said. He goes, biatch. And I go, what does biatch mean? I was like, a female dog. And he's like, bitch. I go, no, it's slang for that. And yeah, I thought that, I don't know. I didn't think that, but I had to be honest. Like, I see what he was trying to do. You know, he is trying to paint me crazy. And do you think that, I guess the jury's going to know that I'm crazy, but was it good that I doubled down and admitted that I was crazy? In your
that was, I wrote that down too.
Okay, I think so too. It's the only way I could go. I wasn't gonna act like I'm not crazy, because trust me, guys, I'm primetime 99. What did I say, Emmanuel, again?
So this is
You're insane in the membrane.
Oh no. No, you. They were trying. This is a little ahead, but I said they brought up your Lakeside Vibes 11, and you said,
oh wait, time out, because it's so crazy, guys. And I kind of. Paige looks at me like I'm an idiot because I go, I can't believe they're watching. And then you look at me, you're like, oh, you had to know that they're going to be watching your videos. But I just didn't expect.
Yeah.
They had, and I have to get onto my attorneys. My own attorneys didn't even try to object, and I don't even think they got that video approved. Like, we didn't have any prior knowledge that they were going to play that video. And anytime we tried to put in something that they didn't have prior knowledge of, they objected immediately. And my attorneys were like, no, just play whatever video. Oh, no. I was like, guys, maybe we should have objected to a couple of these videos I was saying. And my attorneys were like, no, let them see that you're crazy. Let them see that you're crazy, because in this video, you didn't act crazy. And I was like, I hope this works. I hope this works.
So they were said in the Lakeside Vibes 11 live stream, you said you don't want the jury to think you're wild and insane. And then, Alex, you said, you looked at the juries, no, I am wild and insane. I'm primetime 99, pimp on a blimp, but I'm not held to a higher standard like these public officials. And I'll admit some of the jurors did smile when you said that.
Well, let's not talk about them. No, they didn't. The juries were great. I just want to say the jurors are so great.
They were very.
And I want to just say this also. Thank you so much. I know that sitting in that courtroom now, going on the third day tomorrow, and I just want to apologize. And like, I know I keep saying this, and I'm not trying to virtue signal when I say this. It's like, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this also for guys like Emmanuel that have been kind of hung up in the system, like that these politicians need to realize that, hey, listen, I know we're the small guy, but we're not afraid to fight back. And I'm not saying that this is a fist fight, but it's just that we're not just going to roll over to these politicians when we feel like they're being corrupt to us. So I just want to just commend every single person that has spent the past 2 days with us, and tomorrow's going to be our third day, and I really do mean that. And even if you don't like my political viewpoints, and that's understandable. Even people that I align with politically don't agree with my viewpoints because I have such weird viewpoints. Not even extreme. I'm actually, if you're watching this, I just want to say that my viewpoints are actually more moderate. I believe that we should have socialized health care, which is not a conservative position, but it's not about my politics. What it is about saying thank you to the people that sat through this entire trial, took notes, paid attention, and that's every single juror on there. They did a great job. So I hope they're not watching this, because I think that would be a violation. So please don't watch this. But if you're watching this after the court case, I just want to say thank you so much. And I get it. Like, you might not like me personally, but I think that we can all agree that it is important to have the ability to speak with our politicians in a way that is not limited like they want to limit it. And I just want to really applaud the people that spent time. And I want to say thank you to Paige. I want to say thank you to Jimmy. I want to say thank you to Emmanuel. I want to say thank you to Tim Denton, came in today. I want to say thank you to the Dallas Morning News reporter that ended up getting John Wiley Price's police report where he got arrested in...
Jenkins.
Excuse me, not John Wiley Price. Let me correct for the record. John Wiley Price, even though he has been arrested for stuff in the past, this is not about his arrest. This is about Clay Jenkins' arrest. And the Dallas Morning News did get a copy of the police report that stated at the time he went by Alvin Clay Jenkins. Jenkins, I believe, was his stepfather. That he actually had on dark oil type or paint or dark makeup on their faces to make them look like black people. Yeah, that's what it says in the police report. And yeah, you guys can look that police report up. There's a case number in the top right in the Waco Police Department. That is where Baylor University is. So that's not AI. That is real. So shout out to Current Revolt. Thank you to Tony and Current Revolt for that information. I definitely want to give them a shout out. So
Alex, can I read probably my favorite line of questioning?
Please, of course.
So this is, actually, I'm not even going to comment my opinion. This is what the lawyer asked Alex. What is a glory hole, Mr. Stein? And then you kind of were starting to talk. And then he said, Mr. Stein, is a glory hole a place where men can go have anonymous oral sex? And then you said, well, women too.
It didn't seem funny right then, guys, and it was at the time because the judge is like, I mean, the attorney's like, isn't this a gay sexual thing? And I was like, well, no, women can go there too. And I think that created enough.
Then the lawyer said, thank you for that addition. And then you immediately said, you're welcome.
I did, and I was complimentary to him the whole time. I mean, before we actually, because we only have so much time,
Alex,
but we need to go.
Next one, do the ad read real quick.
Okay, yes, guys, are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has made chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well really easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great. No matter what life throws at you, Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. Lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals based on a randomized, controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will vary depending on diet and exercise. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with some wholesome smoothies, breakfast, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my personal experience with Factor. They're such a gracious company, and you know, because we are doing an ad read, we're just going to be honest. They sent me a delicious package of food. Do you remember that big box? And it came, and it kind of felt, you know, I grew up with a very loving mother and dad, but because they were Jehovah's Witness adjacent, I didn't get a lot of Christmas presents. You know, I didn't want for anything, but I didn't, under the tree, a big gift. I would see that in movies and televisions, and when I was young, some of my first memories, but as I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I didn't get to have that experience of having a big present under a tree, and that's something that does, you know, it affects me. But when I got Factor meals, I literally went in a time machine. I felt like a kid at Christmas when I saw that huge package and I knew it was just all that delicious food. I felt like Santa Claus had dropped it right on my doorstep. So I don't know about you, and you probably had a better childhood than me, and that makes sense because my childhood was very tumultuous, to say the least. But eating this Factor meal, it brought me back to a time where I was most happy. So I believe that you will feel that same way when you order Factor meals today. So guys, eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/Factor Podcast and use Factor Podcast, all one word, to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code Factor Podcast at factormeals.com/Factor Podcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. And that's a good deal because I believe the first box, don't quote me on it, I think like the lowest box is like in the, I think it's like $60, $70, but that's like you know, 10 meals. Then if you get that half off, that's some good food. So it's worth the one order just to try it with the 50% off coupon. I guarantee, I know we're out here selling stuff, but if you use the 50 coupon, you're actually getting a hell of a deal. It kind of sucks that the 50 coupon stops because then, you know, it gets a little more expensive, but try it. You're going to probably like, you know, they say Men's Warehouse, you like the way you look. You're going to like the way you eat when you eat Factor meals. Isn't that right?
That is right.
And you know what? She didn't get to eat any of the Factor meals because why?
They were all vegetarian.
They're all vegetarian because they have 8 different dietary preferences. That's right. So if you are like me and you're plant-based, Factor meal has you. Or if you're trying to lose weight and you're on a ketogenic diet and you don't want any carbohydrates, Factor makes it incredibly easy. So consider using that code Factor Podcast and help us out. Okay, now Jimmy.
Real quick, $20 super chat from, I think this is Cyrus. I give this money to you so my ex-wife doesn't steal it.
We love Cyrus. We need to bring Cyrus on the show soon. Cyrus is good. Cyrus, thank you for that $20. Why am I getting a FaceTime from Danny Mason? Hold on. Oh, maybe that was a butt dial. Okay, so now we only have about 15 minutes left, and I want to get into a little bit of Emmanuel. But what high spots do we need to hit? Oh, wait, why am I getting a call from Danny? Hold on. Danny, oh my gosh. Okay, maybe he's accidentally calling me. We are, what high spots do we need to hit that we missed, Jimmy?
So the only other really funny quote, and it turned into a whole thing, he goes, Mr. Stein, what is a freestyle rap? And your answer was, do you want an example? And the lawyer goes, no.
He said no, but do you remember? Okay, but this goes into where this is so dumb. This is and I'm not calling them dumb. I'm not calling you dumb. But I thought this was so funny. Do you remember how they played the Lakeside Vibes? And they're like, Mr. Stein. They literally asked us. It was dead serious. And you correct me how he asked it because, I'm sitting there. He's like, Mr. Stein, do you consider yourself a freestyle rapper? I was like, yes, yeah, I'm Primetime 99 Alex Stein. Yes, I love to rap. Like, were you going to plan a rap for this court case today? And I was like, no, I wasn't. He's like, oh, we got him. And then they try to play a live stream. He's like, well, in your live stream 2 days ago, you said that you were planning a rap, but that you would probably not get to do it because you know that the setting wouldn't be appropriate. Is that correct, Mr. Stein? And I was like, yeah, yeah, it's exactly correct. And like, do you remember that gotcha? Yeah. I was like, how is this? Yeah, I said that I would like to do it, but I'm not going to do it. And that was the other thing. What was the other thing that they said?
They said that you weren't going to record.
The filming. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then his comparison was about cheating on his wife.
Yes, that's what he's.
Well, because he was asking is there a difference between doing something because you know it's wrong and you shouldn't, or not doing something because you don't want to get caught, and then he used that example.
Yes, he used that example, but it's not even about that. But it's really both. I didn't want to get caught, and I don't want to get in trouble for it. Like I don't know. It's not. They're not mutually exclusive. It's not one or the other. You can understand that both of those things are consequences for a wrong decision. So I know he was trying to oh man, you would be filming this, but you understand that this is really serious and that you could get in trouble, so you didn't. You're owned. I'm like, how is that an own? Because I thought
I didn't get that.
I did not understand that. Okay, so real quick though, before we get into Emmanuel, we can talk about the trial. There's no whatever they call. What do they call that? Where they made Trump not talk about it? Gag order. There's no gag order. Even though we're talking about ball gags all damn day, you think they would have put a gag order? As many times we've been talking about panty raid. I've heard the word panty raid.
It's the count's over 50.
Exactly. We're saying panty raid every second.
In a federal court.
But this is the other thing that's annoying about panty raid, where we're all desensitized. And I said this earlier. I'm not going to get back on my soapbox, but it's like, oh, it's just a panty raid, just a panty raid. Once again, if somebody came in and stole your daughter's panties or stole your wife's underwear, you would feel violated. Your wife would feel violated, not in the same violated way that you would feel if somebody stole your car or if somebody stole your wallet. You would feel a different type of violation because it is I hate to say it, and they even said, oh, Alex, do you think you've slandered Clay Jenkins? I said, of course not. I've not slandered Clay Jenkins. I've only talked about public things that he got in trouble for self-admittedly stealing underwear. Now, his interpretation and my interpretation of stealing a woman's underwear, he thinks it's no big deal. I don't. I've never. Listen, I even said I'm a wild child. I've done wild stuff. I've never stolen a woman's panties in my life, and I'm wild. So it's just. Like I said, I haven't slandered anybody. Love Clay Jenkins. I love that we went to court. I love that we got to spend the past 2 days getting to know each other. And now all I can hope for is, listen, win, lose, or draw. I'm happy with the effort that my counsel put in, my friends put in, that my baby put in, my dad put in. And I'll just know this. I am going to be back at that county commissioners meeting. I'm going to be back very, very soon. And we're going to go viral. So I appreciate it greatly that we've had this experience, even though it's cost me thousands of dollars, and I still might not get the outcome that I wanted. What I may have lost is not what I lost. It's actually what the entire population lost. And that's the right to speak freely and criticize our elected politicians. So if we lose, I'll be sad, and I'll be sad for America, and I'll be sad for the First Amendment. But I am going to look at the positive things that I did learn a lot from this, and I learned a lot about Judge Jenkins. I learned a lot about Commissioner Wiley Price, and the Dallas Morning News learned a lot about him as well. So I think that if I do lose financially, which that's a strong possibility, of course, in any legal court case, I still feel like at the end of the day, this was a win. But I do want to win. I want to freaking win, baby. We're like Al Davis, just win, baby. But we don't know.
You could also learn a lot about yourself too, though, because it is a stressful situation doing what you're doing, having to testify. Everything's under oath, obviously. Everything's on record. So if you ever are in this situation again, you'll be better prepared for it.
Yes. Jimmy.
I'm not saying that you're not prepared. I'm just
well, I wasn't.
Just
I mean,
the feeling, you know, that's scary to have to do that.
And I was a little prepared, but I'm saying, Jimmy, what did you think about this? Like, what did you learn of this court case you've sat the past 2 days? What did you learn from this experience?
It's definitely a little different than Netflix. It's a lot of repetitive questioning, and the judge, I mean, he's like created in a lab. This guy
is awesome.
knows every law ever written.
This guy's a genius. Judge Fitzwater is like a computer. He's so smart.
Alex, do you want to see Jimmy's lovely court drawing so people can get an idea of what it,
Yes.
what it looked like in there?
I made courtroom sketches. So there, I separated Alex's Jewish lawyer with the kippah.
Yeah.
Alex's non-Jewish lawyer arguing. Oh, I forgot. Clay Jenkins' lawyer's cell phone went off in the middle of federal.
Yes, you remember
You're
that?
not even supposed to have.
I know that guy's yelling at me, and he's like, his phone's like, and that was probably my favorite part of the whole court case is him like, and because he like couldn't, you know, whatever, he couldn't turn it off while it was ringing. He's like, it was, it was so,
Okay,
it felt so good to watch
that's
that.
not an exaggeration.
No,
he
was sweating
He was
bullets.
like so angry at his phone as if it was his phone's fault.
I know, that's what it was. He was like literally like, I mean, oh gosh, because he knew that the judge gave him latitude and didn't bust his chops about it. But very easily the judge could have, because you're not supposed to have electronics on during this. And it's funny, he's like, oh, Alex is going to try to secretly record. Well, I didn't even have my cell phone on like you, Mr. Shewitt. So I wonder who's trying to record who this time.
Also, who leaves their ringer on? Everyone's on vibrate for the past decade.
I know. Well, some people aren't vibrate. Bree's not. I'm vibrate only. Tim Pool, Allison, his wife, she keeps her ringer on, and she gets. Listen, I love Allison. I love Tim. I'm saying if you hang out with him, and we were in a car with him for a ride. It was like I've been in a couple like short.
It's like an hour and a half.
You know, like a couple hour rides. Yeah. I'm telling you, Allison works so hard. She gets her phone's ding, 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 ding. I'm gonna go, Allison. We're in a car, and I go, you're gonna keep that on? She's like, yeah, I'll miss it if I don't keep it on. And literally, so it'd be like, you know how you hear the smoke detector every 10 seconds. But it was like, it was even more. It was more than smoke detector. Like, oh, you can almost forget about it. This is like, you can never forget. It's like, ding, ding, ding. So Allison works hard, but I don't know how some people keep, believe it or not, Jimmy, I thought everybody keeps on vibrate. She has her notifications on, Ring, and Tim's wife does. What about you, Emmanuel? Do you have your notifications?
I keep it off, and Jimmy almost blew the case. So
why? What did he do? Yes, please. Oh my God! Well, hold on. Wait, real quick, Emmanuel. Please bash Jimmy. I'd love to hear this. How did Jimmy almost blow the case for me?
You know, all huddled together, you know, for like hours, 8 hours or whatever. Jimmy's fucking doing Pilates, stretching it all out.
Yeah.
Walking in white with his big duffel bag, clashing it down.
Yeah. Oh, so you thought because
what did you say? You said if you end up losing the case.
I said if we lose the case and they strictly bring up that I was doing Pilates, I will cut off my.
Wait, so you were doing Pilates during the court case?
Pilates.
What were you doing?
What is this, Jimmy?
Emmanuel, why would Emmanuel lie? Emmanuel's unbiased. Oh, real quick, so he's doing his back stretches. I know Jimmy loves his calisthenics.
And the jury's just like looking at, like, I'd like to.
Was the jury's looking at him, Emmanuel?
Yeah, they were like,
the jury was looking at you, Jimmy, while you're doing calisthenics in my federal court case.
And they can't stretch, and this guy's doing Pilates.
Hey, oh my gosh, Jimmy, dude, we're not in Princeton anymore. You don't need to do calisthenics. His wife is a personal trainer and a fitness instructor, so he thinks he can just do.
I've observed a lot of federal courts, and I've never seen that Pilates going on.
Jimmy, dude, I'm suing you if we lose.
The cafeteria's good, though.
Yes.
Man,
I think we need Alex Stein Legal Advocacy Center.
We do. I would love that. Hopefully, if we win. But actually, we've only agreed. This is the other thing. On this court case, we've only agreed to nominal damages. So, like, even if we win, I can't get a bunch of money. I think it's, like, literally capped at, like, 20 grand or so. You know, I don't know. I don't know exactly what nominal damage is, but it's not a lot. Like, it's not like if I win, I'm going to be paid a lot of money? No. And most of that's going to go to the attorney. So it's not going to be some financial win, but it will help in future instances where I'm limited from speaking at a meeting. So that's why it's so important. But real quick, because we got to end the show soon, but Emmanuel, do we have a full screen 3 or 4, I believe? Emmanuel, give us a little bit. I know you worked at the county jail. You've worked at the county. You had this horrible thing happen to you where you got ill from the horrible conditions there. Can you just kind of, I guess, tell us why, it matters to you, why you're so involved in my court case? Like, why does it affect you personally?
I think it's important for, folks that can speak up. One of the first attorneys that I worked with, and he passed away a couple months ago, Ron Manthe, and another attorney had a heart attack. So what they do is they try to drill it down and put all this pressure on it. You saw that pressure that was going on.
A lot of pressure.
And, a lot of attorneys, they can't hold on and stay. So I feel like, I was left here, to tell a story just by what I look like and to also advocate for those folks, that we lost.
Well, I appreciate that, Emmanuel, and I mean this. I think you're a cool-looking guy. I know that it does suck, and I know your heart's had a lot of issues, but I think that you are a victim, but you don't act like a victim, so that makes you a hero, in my opinion, because you have every reason to act like a victim, but instead, you have the courage to go to these meetings, look these people in the face, and it's awkward and it's hard, and you were violated by these people. So, I just want to say you're very courageous, and I really appreciate you, and I'm happy to call you a friend. And I don't mind that you email me at 4 in the morning. Sometimes.
You're the one that's up.
I know, I do answer
Yeah,
some of them.
that's
I am up all night. No, and Emmanuel, how can
true.
people? Before we go, how can people find you and support you?
Yeah, if you Google Emmanuel Lewis, Dallas Sheriff, had 2 podcasts that came out this month. There's a lot of information out there. And then, folks that are detained, reach out to them, write to them, and also other workers, and keep supporting Alex Stein and not Jimmy.
Yeah, see, baby, it's funny. Emmanuel didn't even know that I bust your chops a lot, Jimmy. Wow, Emmanuel is a beast.
I mean, he probably watches the show.
Do you?
Well, I'm not going to let Jimmy know.
Okay, good. Now,
I'll
text you.
Okay, just text me.
Chad is also saying to shout out Bubba on Timcast.
Oh, yeah,
tonight.
Bubba's on Timcast right now. Shout out Bubba the Love Sponge. I texted him. He didn't freaking answer. So, Jimmy, before we go, he's in Tim's studio. He just texted me. Of course, Bubba just texted my ass right before he's about to start the show. So Tim Pool is starting in 3 minutes. I want all of the chat rats to go into Tim Pool's chat right after we're done here in 2 minutes and say, Bubba Army, shout out Bubba. I got him on Tim Pool. And real quick, I don't want to give too much inside baseball, but going to Tim's show, I believe Brandon's been out there. Jimmy, you haven't. It is a little bit of a trek. You have to fly to D.C. and then you have to drive like an hour into the woods. And it's not even that it's like an hour away, but it's just kind of hard to get to. So it takes, about an hour with traffic and stuff. And Bubba, I love Bubba, but he is a prima donna. He's a diva, even way bigger diva than I could ever be, Jimmy, believe it or not. And that's not a shot. I'm just saying Bubba will admit that he's a diva. And so I said, Bubba, you're not going to like going up there. You're going to get jobbed out. And jobbed out's a wrestling term where you have to lose to the better wrestler, so you get jobbed out. My point is, he texted me yesterday. He's like, I got to wait at the airport 2 hours. They're jobbing me out. So I told you so, Bubba, that you're going to get jobbed out a little bit. But when you get some clips that go viral tomorrow of you on Tim probably fighting about abortion, because Bubba's pro-abortion. That's why I booked him on the show, because I wanted him and Tim, and I needed to text Tim. I wanted there to be a little debate. Because I debate with Bubba, and Bubba doesn't like to debate with me on it, but I was like, all right, we'll go on Tim's show. Y'all can have a debate, and I think that those clips will do well. So, hey, listen, Bubba's one of my best friends. He's pro-choice. I disagree with him wholeheartedly about that. I can still be his friend because, listen, I don't have to agree with everybody's political viewpoints, and that's the problem. So we've gotten so crazy that if somebody has a different political viewpoint, all of a sudden we have these preconceived notions and we dislike them. Let's not do that. We're not all robots. We are all uniquely individual people. So let's actually, like the left wants to do, and I agree with this, let's celebrate our differences. Let's celebrate our uniqueness instead of all trying to be the same person or trying to have the same viewpoints. Let's make it our duty, every chat rat, and this is not a self-help thing, but tomorrow I want you to be nice to somebody that you can tell has a different ideological viewpoint on the world as you. And I'm telling you, you, by just doing that, will be making the world a better place. So, babe, last final words before we do the freestyle finale. What do you think about the case? Wrap it up for us.
I think that it was, I don't know, I guess it was kind of what I was expecting, but like Jimmy said, the question sometimes, even I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like, was this already answered? It sometimes can get a little confusing. It's very draining, even just sitting there. So the fact that you and your lawyers, you know, Clay Jenkins, everyone, it's very, very draining having to do that, especially for the jurors. So, you know, I do think that you obviously have a very good case. I'm excited for tomorrow, especially with the closing statements, but it's definitely been a once-in-a-lifetime type of experience. It's been crazy, especially because it's a federal court case. But I do want to say that I am proud of you for doing this, and I'm glad that you have John and Eden, because it is important to have your First Amendment right and to fight for that, because as we've seen through all these videos, it gets taken away way too easily, and if that's gone, then, you know, there's not a lot left to fight for, I think.
Well said, babe. And I just want to say, because I know the opposing counsel's watching this, you guys are doing a great job, you know, and listen, I get it, Jason. My hairline's receding, and I know that, you know, you have some hair issues. Emmanuel has some hair issues, and I'm just saying, I think you're still a handsome guy. And I mean that. No, I mean, I just want to say shit. And I'm not, I know you were talking about the male glory holes, and you probably thought that was some sort of gay thing. I'm a heterosexual male, and I can just say you're a handsome man. And a lot of men wouldn't have the confidence that you have, Shuit. So you got the looks. You're a handsome fella. Even Clay Jenkins in person, he's handsome. John Wiley Price. He's dressed like he's a damn Gucci model. So congratulations to John Wiley Price for being one of the most stylish politicians I've ever seen. So I just want to compliment guys that I ideologically disagree with. I want to say all three of them, even the female attorneys, they haven't been doing much of the work. They leave it to the men. Go figure. But I just want to say they're also doing a great job, too. So, guys, that's been our show. Tomorrow, we will have the verdicts in the federal case. Primetime Alex Stein versus Dallas County and Clay Jenkins. You're going to find out tomorrow what is the verdict. Stay tuned. And we end the show the same way every time, actually, with a freestyle finale. So, DJ, hit that beat. Yo, it's prime time. You know I'm on trial. You better hit that dial. I'ma spank you like a child. I'm a pimp on a blimp, and I'm eating shrimp, because I'm gonna win this case. Rub it in your face. Hope you like the taste. Gonna win it in court. Not short. Too long. I don't give a damn if I say dong. In a courtroom. If it's on Zoom, I'ma do it all day long. I don't give a damn. If you're sad, call your mom. On prime time, baby. We got the verdict tomorrow. I love the jury. I love the judge. I love this country. And I love the First Amendment. And I love protecting it. God bless you and good night.